про ситуацію.
Now information about the situation in the ATO zone. Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesman and ATO-related issues, Colonel Andriy Lysenko. Welcome on stage. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, Ukraine marks third anniversary of the start of anti-terror operation in the territory of the Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts. 3 years ago, acting president of Ukraine signed a decree, and this was justified response to separatist revolt, inspired, organized, and guided by Russia. Thousands of Ukrainian patriots went to the eastern front line in order to repel enemy aggression. Also, Ukrainian volunteers and millions of patriots around the country made their contribution in defense of their motherland. And Ukraine got support, military and diplomatic support, from different countries of the world in its just fight against Russian occupants. During the last 3 years, Ukraine fought for its independence, freedom, and territorial integrity. 2,652 servicemen gave their life for Ukraine. These were representatives of the Armed Forces, National Guard, Ministry of Internal Affairs, SBU, and Border Guard Service, and other military and law enforcement units. 9,578 servicemen were wounded. Eternal glory and memory to all of them. Now, information about the situation in the ATO zone during the last 24 hours. The Lugansk sector, between 2 and 8 p.m., the enemy delivered 3 shellings of Ukrainian positions, in one in Stanично-Lugansk region and 2 in Popasnyansky region. Heavy weapons was not used. The Donetsk sector, the main military actions yesterday were in Kamenka, Donetsk airport part of front line. There the enemy actively used mortars, mainly in Avdiivka and Opytne. And the enemy launched at our positions about 50 mines. 2 biggest shellings happened in the morning between 7 and 9, and during second part of the day between 2 and 10 p.m. And 3 enemy shellings, 1 mortar shelling were delivered in Svetlodarsk Bulge. Also, Zaitsevo came under enemy fire. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk sector, there were 19 enemy shellings, including 5 with use of heavy weapons. The Mariupol sector. In the south, the situation deteriorated. The enemy brought to the front line heavy weapons and started actively using. And in Telakivka, Gnutova, and Shirokine, there were mortar shellings delivered by the enemy, and also the enemy delivered fire to Vodyaner from mortars and artillery. And in the Donetsk sector, the enemy launched about 50 mines and shells. Also, the occupants intensively used armored vehicles, 6 instances of the use. And near Avdiivka, military actions are conducted in the morning and during second part of the day. In Mariinsky and in northern part of Volnovasky region, yesterday it was relatively calm. There were only sporadic firing, mainly sniper fire was recorded. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Mariupol sector, there were 43 enemy shellings, including 6 with the use of heavy weapons. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, fortunately no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but 2 servicemen were wounded. The court released from criminal responsibility 1 more participant of SBU program that is called They Wait for You Back Home. Resident of Parkrovsky region of Donetsk Oblast, for half a year was among the DPR militant group. And then he got disillusioned with the ideas of Russian world and decided to return to peaceful life. He left the militants and addressed SBU. Former militant voluntarily addressed law enforcers and cooperated with investigation. In Luganshina, servicemen of one of the detachments that carry out tasks in the 80 zone had firing exercises. Due to weekly training, they improved their firing skills and it remains high. And 6 trucks went through Novotroitsky checkpoint in the direction of non-controlled territories. They brought UNO help. These are hygienic kits with overall mass of 60.5 tons for the residents of the Donetsk Oblast. This is all. If you have questions, please ask. No questions. Thank you. Thank you for this information. The next briefing about 80 zone is tomorrow at